Let's discuss some important values in Google Search Console. So Google Search Console actually provides a lot of information about your website, and they break it down into sort of groupings. The first one they call performance. This is basically values that your website might be queries. So these are cases where someone types in some sort of search term and your website shows up. So that's a query. If your website is viewed and they click on it, that becomes a click. Just if you view it, meaning your website is visible in a Google search engine result page, that's an impression. If you divide the impressions by the clicks, you get the CTR, or the click-through rate. And finally, in the performance area, it'll actually show you the position. So which number from 1 is at the top down to a lot, which position you show up there in the Google search engine results. The next area that Google Search Engine Console shows what Google calls coverage. So this is where it actually tries to give you information about when Google search goes through and tries to and indexes your website. So the most things to look at to try to fix are errors, and there are many different types of errors that Google might find where it's trying to go through your site. Warnings, a little less important than errors, but still something to look at. Valid just means those pages were found and are added into the Google search index. And then lastly, pages that were excluded. And some of these are actually excluded for good purposes. But it gives you 4 areas where you can actually look at the content that Google has found on your website and where it's put it inside its search index. The next area that Google Search Console shows is links. And it actually shows you a couple things. So again, first, what is a link? A link is basically the hyperlink, the thing you click on the web to go to another page, called hyperlinks, or short for links. There are actually 2 types. There's external links and internal links. External links are where another website links to your site. So these are very important for finding your site. This helps to improve the search engine optimization if you have external links. But additionally, Google Search Console will show you information about internal links, so where one page of your website links to another. So all that information is presented in a different area of Google Search Console. A couple additional places in the Google Search Console it's good to look at. One is manual actions. Hopefully you never see or have any messages here, but if for some reason Google takes a manual action against your website, so again that a human was involved in reviewing or penalizing your site, they'll actually put information there. And the last is if there are any security issues when Google looks through your website. Again, maybe your site was hacked or something like that, and Google knows that, it'll actually present up those security issues so that you're aware of those. And the final point in Google Search Console that brings up is a couple of actions where you can actually submit information to Google. One is a sitemap. Sitemap is just a term used to describe a specially formatted file, an XML file, that actually lists all the pages on your website that you want Google to look at. So you can submit that sitemap, and then Google on its next crawl through your website will use that to help find pages. And the last is removals. This is where somebody is linking to your site and you might actually want to remove that link and say you do not allow it. So they have an area where you can do that. So some conclusions on our how to use the Google Search Engine Console. Again, basically, it's a place where you can sign up for an account, get it authorized, and then Google will actually allow you as the owner of the website to look at information that Google has found when it's actually crawled your website to put it in the Google search index. The different areas of importance are performance, how queries and impressions and positions. The next area is coverage. This could be errors or warnings or valid pages. The final is links, in particular external links that come to your site, but also internal. And then finally, if there is any error messages on your site, Google will actually, via the Google Search Console, give you those error messages.